You show me what you got. I'll tell you where to put it.
I'm pulling them right now because it feels good.
Oh, I mean, Finnan really is a fucking babe. I mean, the accent.
Welcome back, Pot Coven. Today we're here with Jasmine, Ella, and Jess, and a very special guest, Christine Michelle. She is a quantum manifestation expert, a human design, WooDo. I don't know how to say that. She takes the spiritual and makes it practical. And I'm just so excited to be able to talk with her after following her Facebook group and her human design expertise. It's just, there's so much here that I am excited to dive into. And I know the girls are just have so many questions for you. So let's just dive right in.
Oh, thank you for having me, each one of you. I just love it. I love it. I love it. And, you know, I do. I love combining the woo because I am so woo-woo, but also with the do, you know, the woo-woo spiritual plus the do and the tangible. When you combine those together, that's where the power is. So thank you so much for having me.
I agree with you so much. Like, I am so woo-woo spiritual, but I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you have to gotta like dig a stake into the ground and just like bring it back to earth a little bit and just like, okay, but how can I utilize all this really cool woo-woo information I've got and make it practical and actually like tangible and help people? So, I'm excited to talk today.
Yes.
Okay, so first, I would love if you just explained what human design is. I know it's probably like a very long answer, so go ahead and, try to fit it into a couple sentence description. But yeah, go ahead, let us and our listeners know what human design is.
Yes. Okay. So human design, the way the way I'm going to explain it is my way that flows through me. So what I like to see human design is it is like your energetic cheat codes to life. So it tells you like who your soul came here to be and how energy flows within you and how you get to interact with the life, with universe, with all of the amazing situations, circumstances, and all of this, how energy just relates to you and how you get to relate back to it to allow things to flow with ease and flow. And so, for example, there are these various archetypes within human design, like there's the manifester, a generator, a manifesting generator, a projector, and a reflector. And those just mean like when your soul chose to incarnate in your body, it chose to really influence and experience the world in a specific way. And so, for example, if you are like me, I'm a generator. That means that I have a very open aura. And that means that I get to lean back and respond to things as the universe places them along my path, which means that in every moment there's something to respond to. But if I initiate or do things without responding to things within my environment, that's going to feel more frustrating, more push, more like I'm pushing things up a hill. And so, for example, the whole world, there's 70% of the world are generators and manifesting generators, which means that we were taught to just do it. Go out there, initiate. And then it feels so stressful, so much push. And really, that's not the way your energy was made to be. And so what I do is I combine these cheat codes, that I love to call them, with quantum manifesting. And when you really tune into the energy and the frequency of what you truly desire, that's when you can really lock in that frequency and look at the frequency from your next level and then choose the things that you get to respond to. Or if you're a manifestor, where you get to initiate. If you're a reflector, how you get to reflect and reveal. And if you're a projector, the invitations and the recognition that you receive. So that's my short, simple explanation of what human design is.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm a generator. I wrote notes. I've looked it up before, but I wrote notes on it yesterday. Got a little clue into it. I was like, oh, we're amongst this like 70%, like everyone's a generator. I'm not special.
That's a hard pill to swallow in Leo season.
Yeah, it is. That was my
Ella, what is yours, Ella?
I'm pretty sure mine's a specific manifester.
And what is your type? Are you a generator, a projector? Are you a manifestor? Like, do you know, like?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a manifester.
Okay, so because there's a manifester, and then you have specific and non-specific manifesting, which I love to talk about on this call. So you're
please.
a manifester, which means you get to initiate, and you were born here to have a pushy energy. Push.
That's good because I am pushy.
Yeah, and there's going to be more people that, like, people are going to love you or hate you, but you are meant to take up a lot of massive space and just be like, girl, this is what you need to do, and be more like, this is the way things get to be. Whereas us generators, manifesting generators and projectors, like manifesting generators and generators are supposed to have this open aura, and our excitement and joy about what we're doing is what draws people in with that sacral energy.
I love it. I feel very exposed.
I know.
I'm like, oh, am I naked right now? Take up a lot of space. Yes, that's very me.
Without all of that energy, this entire podcast would not have been possible.
True.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we're all three different types, right? Because Jess, what are you?
I'm a projector.
Oh, I love this combination, ladies. You have like all of it, a little bit of everything. And so as a projector, like, you just get to show up and like talk about what you love and just do it from a space of not wanting anything back, but just saying, this is just how it is. And you get to be the expert in the things that you love. And then you will receive invitations and recognition. And you're also there to manage energy. And so you do it in a totally different way than a manifester would, right? Manifestors jump in DMs and they dive and they say, this is the way it needs to be. You should be on my podcast, like that kind of stuff, right? But as a projector, you just show up, you talk about your podcast, you say, oh, this is what I do. And you really just be there as the expert. And then people are like, wow, how do I be on your podcast? Like, you're so amazing. Tell me what you know. Versus as a projector, if you're just telling people and inviting yourself there, then they can probably call you a know-it-all or be like, you think you know everything. And it could be, and it's because you're out of alignment because you're not waiting to be invited.
I experienced that when dealing with family child rearing things. They're like, I was actually called a terrorist the other day because I inserted my boundaries.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
Wow. Wow, that's so extreme.
It is, but it is also just kind of crazy just to see how much that actually aligns. Like, I wasn't invited to share my boundaries. I needed to. It was something that had to happen.
Right.
But because I wasn't invited into that space and I just kind of inserted myself there to see how different that was taken than when I'm actually invited into a space, it's just bizarre and cool. It's really cool.
But then when people are like, what would your boundaries be in this situation? Or tell me what your thoughts are. Then they would have been like, oh, okay, I get it. Right? But when you're like, my boundary is, and they're like, whoa, you're like a terrorist. And you're like, what?
I'm like, I'm just a mother.
But that's what human design, that's why I like to say it's a game. You get to play. That's why I use the word cheat codes, because like when you want to celebrate, or like if you're playing like Link or something, I'm showing my age, but if you're playing this game and you know how to get to the princess, then why not use those codes to allow yourself to get there easier? And so as a projector, there's certain ways that you can just invite people to ask your opinion. And that's by asking them a lot of questions or speaking in stories, but not telling them that that's what they need to do. And then people are gonna be like, what's your opinion? Well, what do you think about it? And then as soon as you start sharing, they're gonna be like, oh, you're such a genius. And we recognize your amazingness. And because that's just the way it works for projectors. It really does.
I dig it. I like this. I'm also a non-specific manifester, so.
Ooh, can we talk about that?
Yes, I would love to.
Yay! Okay, so as you guys, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I like to combine a lot of these tools and like the cheat codes in with manifesting. And so a big part to understand about manifesting, right? Quantum manifesting, that the most important thing is understanding the feeling that you want to feel when you think you get the car, the guy, the romance, the successful business, the blah, 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 whatever it is. It's that end feeling that you believe you're going to feel. And then what's important to understand is that everyone doesn't manifest, quote unquote, the exact same way. And for you, manifesting, the way I like to talk about it is manifesting is really just receiving, because it's not creating anything. It really is just leaning back and receiving intentionally what you desire and allowing that to flow in, because it's already available to you. It's already available in the quantum. So really it's just you tuning into the energy of it and leaning back and allowing who I call sugar daddy, the universe, sugar daddy, to just give it to you, right? And so there are different ways. What people got caught up in when they did law of attraction, they're like, law of attraction doesn't work for me. And it's because law of attraction was really created in a beautiful time, like not created, but taught, right? The way it's taught now by specific manifestors, who are people like, you get clear on what you want, get into the specifics, put a picture on your vision board, and just focus on getting that thing. Well, that doesn't work for non-specific manifestors like me and you, because that creates a lot of resistance. And so the way around that for specific and non-specific manifestors is to really first, the reason why you want something is because of how you think it's going to make you feel. And so let's tune into, like, you created these boundaries, right? What did you want to feel, in your parenting, in that, what do you want to feel?
Safe,
right? That's why you create these boundaries. And so for you to skip all of that, you tune into the feeling of being safe, embodying that feeling of safety. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I'm safe to say what I want. I'm safe to parent the way I want. I'm just safe to show up in this world the way I want, and really tuning into that feeling first, and then allowing invitations, people, places, things to unfold and give you the invitations, give you the certain things that align with that. And so as a non-specific manifestor, you really want to tune into the essence of what you want, which is safety and security, trusting your own self and your voice, knowing that whatever boundaries that you set for yourself, you don't even have to share them. If you set those boundaries within, others are going to fall in line. So that type of thing, just truly tuning into that. And then for specific manifestors, it's really important, because the goal is to lock in the frequency of what you desire and allow all the byproducts, which is, people falling in alignment with your boundaries, or the byproducts of, like, getting the car, getting the people. If you lock in what you really truly desire, that frequency, then as a specific manifestor, you would tune into the specifics that get you to feel that frequency. And so, like, a specific manifest might mean safety feels like I just feel safe in my skin, and I feel safe when I go do this, and I feel safe doing this or feeling this, or, all of those things, those specifics. When you lock in your frequency as a specific manifestor, getting into the specifics of those is what's going to help you really, really tune into the frequency.
So what's really interesting about that is, I didn't until now know those terms and know that human design was something that tells us about that, but just working with manifestation on my own for the past 2 years, and, having watched the documentary about The Secret, all of my education and my own, like, field research about it, it is interesting because, it really is one of those two ways that works for people. It's like, either you got to focus on the end goal, the feeling, tap into that and let it happen, which I believe is me, because that's how mine has worked. But then you have those people that are like, yep, I cut out this picture from a magazine of a house, and that's the house I want to buy. And then, 5 years into living in that house, they find an old scrapbook and they're like, oh my God, it's the house,
That's Ella for sure.
Dude, it's so creepy how many times I've, like, written things down, and then I go back, like, a year or two later and I'm like, oh shit, like, did that happen? So yeah, so now anytime my husband, like, says something that he wants, I'm like, do you want me to write it down?
I love it.
Power.
Yeah. I'm like, be careful. Make sure it's what you really want.
Be specific, darling.
What I love about that too is we had, like I said, when the Secret and all of that was taught, it was specific manifestors were a majority of who was being born. And it was important because it really helped us understand how energy really works, right? It helped us understand that, wow, if I focus on this specific thing and then really, like, I can call it in, like, wow, right? So it opened our eyes to energy and how it works. And then come 2027, the majority of people are going to be non-specific. And that's because now that the Earth's frequency is rising, right? It's a more heart-centered consciousness. It really is going to be about the feeling. It's really going to be about the essence of what you desire and allowing the universe to show up and just be like, boom, 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 this all matches that. And so that's why I'm also helping my specific manifestors to be, you can be specific, but let's get into the essence of why you want it, because the feeling is really what you want. Like a lot of people, specific manifestors will put this house, this house, this house, and forget about the feeling. So then they frantically manifest the house, and then they're frantic in the house. And I'm like, well, what is the house did you really want from the house? And they're like, oh, I wanted to feel joy, or I wanted to feel peace, or I wanted to feel safety. And they're not feeling safe because they're thinking that the thing was going to bring that thing, when they could have chosen the safety right now and manifest the house and feel safe, regardless of the byproduct that they manifested.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I have this picture in my mind of this specific like circular orchard, and I see it often in my head, but you know, like you're saying, it's not just that place that I envision. It's also me standing there, like taking deep breaths, smelling flowers, like seeing little animals run around, like hearing my pet cows in the background, because I'm going to have pet cows.
I can't wait to pet your pet cows.
I know. I love animals. My husband says there's no animal I've ever met that I don't want to marry, and it's true. I love them. They're so cute. But yeah, I always do that where I'm like, okay, if I really want something, I try to focus on the vision and also like that feeling too, because I'm like, because like you're saying, it's not, if you get, you know, exactly what you want, but you feel like shit still, it doesn't mean anything. You didn't get what you wanted then. You just got a thing, you know, and it's still the same bullshit.
Right. Yeah. And what if that thing that you think you want isn't what you truly want? It's the feeling that you want, and that's a byproduct of it. You know, so if you focus on the feeling first and then let that be a specific that would be like, ooh, this would be juicy, then you're like, this or something better, because you're going to have that feeling now. So like you said, in the orchard, smelling the flowers, seeing the pet cows, playing with the animals, that's all stuff you can do now. That's all stuff you can do right now. You know, so it's like, oh, let me choose to do that now. And that's how you collapse time. And then it's tomorrow, then they're like, oh, we have this orchard that we just wanted to give to you. And you're like, oh, yeah, you know, but that's because you chose the feeling first and allow the universe to like unfold all of those wonderful, juicy specifics that felt good to you.
Yes.
Hell
just
yeah.
The energy of being around you. I feel like I'm like ready to take on the world now. Like, this was the hype I needed this week. I'm like, yes, I'm ready to go.
I love it. Well, they don't call me the energy shifter and the vibration lifter for nothing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. But, you know, that is something that I do quite often, and I will tell people that I work with to do the same, you know, like, okay, what is you? Who are you a year from now? Or even 5 years from now, if you're able to do that. I'm not good at going too far ahead. I'm pretty good at being like, okay, who can I be in a year? Also because like a year can change a lot. So I don't know who 34-year-old Jasmine's going to be. But 30-year-old Jasmine, I think I've had a pretty good clue. It's like, okay, how do I just show up as her right now? How can I be that person instantly and then let it all fall into place? You know, I kind of think that's where they used to get the term or the adage, you know, fake it till you make it. But you don't have to fake it. You can just be like, no, I can just tap into that energy right now. I'm not faking anything. I'm just feeling into her. I know she's there.
100%. Okay. I love it. Okay. So I have in my podcast, one of the things, it was like the 10 fallacies, I think, of law of attraction. And I was like, it's not act as if, it's a be her. Like, do it now, because when she's available to you right now, because those feelings are instant manifestations. Is instant manifestation a thing? Yes, because you can choose to be your next level now. And so instead of calling it future self, I like to call it your next level now. Like, be it now. You're NLN. Like, you're that next level now. And so the example I love to use is actors. And so when you're a really good actor, no one knows that you're acting. So like, for example, I love The Witcher. So when Henry Cavill is like in The Witcher, he is being The Witcher. He's not acting. you don't see the gorgeous, British Henry Cavill when you're looking at The Witcher. You see the fine, sexy Witcher. And,
Yes.
right, you're not thinking about Henry Cavill. You're thinking about, wow, Gara is like freaking amazing, right? He's embodying that character. So he becomes that character. He's not acting. And if you look at an actor and you're like, oh, they're acting, then they're not doing their job. And so for you, like, to the whole adage of act as if or fake it till you make it, there's no faking. You're being. And so when you truly are in the energy of embodying it, it's you being your next level now. And that's what's required in order to quantum shift, quantum jump, collapse time, be that person, because she's inside of you right now. All the quantum possibilities exist inside of you right now. And it's just a matter of you tuning into your higher self, your inner being, and saying, you know what, I'm choosing to allow that to be first and foremost who I am, how I choose things, how I act, my beliefs. That's who I am right now.
Yes.
I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I would definitely toss a coin to The Witcher. Hell yeah, boy.
Oh, absolutely.
My husband forced me to watch it. He's like, you're going to like this. I'm like, I don't know. I sat down. I was like, oh, hey, I like this show.
What's this?
He knows me so well. He knows how to get me into a show. He's like, hey, there's a buff dude. I'm like, oh, all right.
That first episode, I'm like, this is super cheesy, but I can't stop watching it.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch this with you. And then I'm just like, he's like, do you want me to wait? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm ready. We can watch it now. It's fine.
Totally toss a coin. I was like, yeah, bring the coins here. Got the coins for you, bro. But it's a good show. Like, what I love to use is like real life examples. That's why it's the Woo Place to Do and practical. So I use life examples from like reality TV, The Witcher, like anything that we can just sit and be like, yeah, because a lot of times people try to make spirituality so like, oh, it's so here and so serious when it's not. Like, this is life. This is who we are. And we came here to be humans, not to shun The Witcher or shun Netflix or shun any. No, we came to live life and have fun. And so that's why I love those type of examples, because people can be like, wow, yeah, or, huh, okay, it's not that hard. It's not that, it can be a lot more simple than we're allowed it to be.
So you guys have seen Halloween Town, I'm assuming, at some point in your life. There's a part where they're talking about doing spell work, and I can't remember the full phrase, but she basically was like, you think about it, and then you allow yourself to have it.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
That's what all of this makes me think of. You just have to allow yourself to be there, to be that now.
100%. Ed, did you guys watch OA? And it was some next level stuff. It was a Netflix show. Oh my God, I'm so sad that they canceled it, but it was so good. They had 2 parts. And it was kind of like they were talking about near death experiences, but it got you to go to the next like quantum like dimension, like all dimensions were happening at the same time. And so really and she said, they were saying the steps are to really tune into, you got to have the right feeling. And I was like, yeah. And so anyway, they did a dance that brought them to the next level. But the big part was really about tuning into that feeling. And I was like, 100%. Like, that is really how you tune into your level. And it really is about allowing, because you're not creating. Like, people that are single right now and they're desiring a relationship, you're desiring to feel loved and adored. The dude is not being created right now. I mean, maybe he is. Maybe you like younger men. He could be born today. But most likely, he's not. Most likely, he's right around the corner. And it's just about you allowing yourself to know that it is inevitable that he gets to flow into your life, and just living your life knowing that it's inevitable and I'm being the love that I am right now. And so for an example that I love to use is, I don't know if you guys saw Love is Blind.
Yes.
And so Cameron and Lauren. So I love to use Cameron as an example because he never had a doubt. It was like his 50-year-old self that had been married to Lauren for like 20 years or something like that came back and was like, dude, she's the one. You better know it. And so then he just was going through life like he knew it. He's like, what? You're confused. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, he was so certain, and his certainty brought her along. And so how can you be that certain knowing that what you desire is inevitable? And just every step that you take is taking you in that direction, regardless of if it happens the way you expect it to or not.
Yep. I feel that. Like, the hardest thing for me to manifest when I was really working on it, really trying it, was money, which is what I needed the most desperately, of course,
Ugh.
for a long time. Um, and it wasn't until I figured out that the mantra, money is always on its way to me, was the like best thing for me, because it's like, it is true. You have to believe it. You have to understand that it's inevitable. Like, there's never going to be a time when money like literally stops. I'm never going to get any ever again. Even if it might be a longer stretch, even if I'm still paycheck to paycheck, I always knew like there is money coming to me. And literally once I started doing that, within a couple of months, I was like, oh, okay, now there's actually a lot of money on its way to me. I'm good now.
I love that. And it just took that switch, right? Awareness is the beginning of transformation. And a lot of times it just takes that awareness, because money, I love to see money as it's in abundance, and it's energy, and it's available like breath, right? It's in and out, in and out. It's like waves, in and out, and it gets to flow. And just the more you celebrate that inflow and the outflow, and just automatically assume that just like the waves are definitely coming in, just like I know I'm taking my second breath, I know that money flows to me like that you can celebrate it and enjoy it.
This Power of 3 episode has been brought to you by Tonic Vibe CBD products. Tonic's original CBD blends are handcrafted in small batches with purposeful plant-based ingredients. Using herbs like ashwagandha and superfoods like black seed oil, Tonic elevates the benefits of CBD to create a powerful way to heal the body, calm the mind, and restore balance. Their hemp-derived CBD and botanical blends create a completely holistic method to help you feel your best and #FixYourVibe. Use code WITCHY at tonicvibes.com for 10% off your order.
This episode of the Power of 3 podcast is brought to you by Shock Rubs, because sex is magic. Shock Rubs is the first crystal sex toy company. Their sex toys are made from natural crystals that bring a sense of sacredness to your playtime. These beautiful handcrafted tools are created with the intention of opening oneself up to the healing properties that crystals provide. All toys are body safe, made from the earth, and provided with love. They create harmony in mind, body, and spirit, remove blocks caused by sexual trauma, create deeper intimacy with the self and with your partner, and even encourage self-awareness and mindfulness. So use the code WitchyWisdom on shockrubs.com at checkout for 10% off your purchase today.
Yeah, my husband has always said that, because we've definitely gone through some pretty low financial points. Like, we live simply no matter what. Like, honestly, our bills have always just stayed pretty low compared to everyone else we know. But yeah, like, he's always said that when I start getting freaked out, where I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna be broke. He's like, money comes and goes, dude. Just chill. He's like, are you working? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, then you have money coming to you. Are you breathing? There's money coming to you. Just chill. It's on its way. I'm like, oh, thank you.
That's what you need, right? You need the
Yes.
It'll be fine. Where I went through a similar experience, because I was a senior executive, so I was in a multi six figures, and then I said, oh, I'm leaving and going to do this full time now, right? I had been doing it for years, but I was like, I'm leaving, I'm doing it full time. But I was in the energy of, I shifted from being a generator, which I was in the corporate job, always responding to the corporate executive, all that stuff, to being a manifester like you, which I'm not. And so like I received clients and things like that, but I was like, I don't have money mindset problems. What's going on? I ended up just being in a struggle and frustration, and things weren't falling into place. And it was because I wasn't utilizing the cheat code. Like, I really wasn't leaning back and responding. And I ended up having to file bankruptcy from multi six figures. And I was like, wow, maybe I took money mindset courses. I did all of this. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's my money mindset. What is it? And it really was because I needed to tune into, like, how does energy flow for me? And how do I really tune in and allow and trust and really respond to things, versus trying to be you and be a manifester and initiate and do, and like, no one's in the program. It's like, what's going on? Like, what's doing it? And then once I did that, it was like, it changed, it opened up my entire world and totally flipped the whole situation. But that was really for me utilizing my cheat codes and going back to what I knew, because I knew money just was easy for me, and it always had been easy. And then it wasn't until I started the job and tried to do the just do it and be an entrepreneur and push things out that it totally flipped my reality. But yeah, money gets to be easy. And like your husband said, you're working, you're doing your thing, money gets to flow. Shit, you're not working, you're doing it, money gets to flow. It's energy.
It sure is.
I had a massive outflow of energy unexpectedly yesterday. I was getting my oil changed, and they're like, oh, this part on your car is broken. Would you like to fix it? We'll give you your oil change for free. So I went and checked my bank account. $340 taken out for a website I haven't used in a year because I forgot that it was there.
Oh.
Shoot.
So then it gets to go to be like, where am I not paying attention to my juicy inflow and outflow of money universe, right? I like to call money your boyfriend. So I had a whole live stream, and it was about conscious money mindset. And so the big thing was about treating money like your boyfriend. And I was like, so if money was your husband, your boyfriend, would it feel loved and adored? Are you taking sexy, intimate time with it? Because if you were paying your sexy, intimate time with it once a week, then you would be like, oh, it's almost time for that website thing to come out. I'm going to cancel that because I don't need that anymore. Like it lets you be aware of it. But a lot of times we're not spending like the sexy, intimate time with money, knowing everything that's coming in and out because we don't want to see it.
Yeah.
We don't want to know.
Stop attacking me. I don't appreciate it.
Right. So we're like not looking at money. But if you were like, if money was your man, would it feel loved and adored and seen? Or would it feel like ignored because you're like the worst girlfriend in the world?
Yeah.
I used to very much avoid looking at that bank account.
When I have cash in hand, I'm like, oh, look at this. And like, I'll count it, and then I'll like play with it, and we'll like have a date. But when it's in my bank account and that's not like real tangible money, it's like, this is a fake number on a computer screen. And it's a big disconnect for me. Then I'm like, oh, this isn't real money. But it is. But it isn't. And it's like finding that like balance of like, this is real money. Just because it's a number on a computer screen, it's still, that's my energy flow.
Yes, it is. It is actually what money really is, which is energy. So it's like it's behind the computer and the numbers, but it's like, oh my goodness, right? And then it's like celebrating. I have the I Love Money song that I taught in that conscious money course, and it was kind of like, I love money and money loves me. But it's about celebrating the money as it goes out and it comes in, because the money is paying for things and doing things for you, because it's that masculine energy. It loves to do, it loves to have a container, and celebrating it all. So just even it's sitting in the bank account, you get to love it and appreciate it and say, oh, you're so beautiful, and I love you, and say hello, and speak to it, and realize that that's actually like even closer to what true energy of money is versus that paper. Like just looking at it, it's just energy, because basically all of money is energy, right? It's not like connected to gold coins anymore or connected to all of this hard stuff. It really is just numbers on a screen. That's truly what money is right now. It's just energy, and you get to look at it and love and appreciate that, plus the tangible paper or whatever, because that is like the physical essence of your man showing up for you and allowing you to pay for your Starbucks or pay for whatever you're buying.
Oh, I love it. I love that. My boyfriend's got this. My own debit card.
Yes, my boyfriend's gonna take care of that, and then you can like pay attention to it too, and like really see, how are you talking about it, right? Like consciously, how are you speaking about it? Because it's like, oh Lord, oh no, I have to pay for this. Or is it like, yay, okay, I have the money. It didn't take my account out. Yay, it was there and I was able to pay for it. Cool. thank you. And just slowly appreciating that it was there. And now saying, okay, universe, how do you take care of me? Okay, money, how do you get to take care of me? Because I get to have this and this and this and this. And I get to receive, and I also get to pay and allow money to come in and out because it's meant to flow in and out just like air and just like the waves.
Yeah. I'm not as good about it anymore, but now that I'm listening to you, I'm like, oh, I got to get better about that again. I used to get like very excited when I paid my bills because it used to be a lot harder to pay my bills. And once it started to be like, oh, I can actually pay this right now. Like I was always so excited, like, hell yeah, this is amazing. Like this is a treat I'm getting myself. Bills paid on time. I don't have to carry
Oh my
around that
God.
guilt on my shoulders.
Yes, I
Yeah, look,
love paying my bills early. It's so hot.
it is. Doesn't that feel good too? And it's like,
Ugh.
wow. And you're so appreciative of whatever that bill like represented for you, whether it's your internet or your phone or your apartment or your mortgage. It's like, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, money, and juicy, sexy money. Thank you, right? You're taking care of me. Thank you. And that's how excited we get to be every time we pay for something. And then that appreciation is what the energy of receiving. You get to receive more, and you can create little containers and little, I call it the money do list, like a honey-do list. You can create a little money do list. Oh, money, sweetie, I'd love for you to do this. Or money, sweetie, I'd love for you to pay for that, the website in addition to my oil change and this and this. And I'd love for you to do this. And then I'm just going to let you go off and do your thing. And then I get to receive more and more and more.
I love when I pay bills and I'm able to pay extra on my bill, like especially like a car loan or a personal loan, those kinds of things, and just being like, oh, look, I was able to put $50 extra on this bill.
Yes.
Like, how freaking awesome is that? I'm not going to have to pay on this bill for 10 months. I'm going to only have to pay on it for 5 months. This is fucking cool.
That feels so good, right? And it's like more of a celebration. It's like, oh my goodness. And it's kind of like when I was talking in the live stream, I was like, when you like begrudge or like, oh, why did I have this? Or, oh, I have to pay for this. Or, oh, all I got was one client or something like that. I said, that's like slapping little money in the face and like saying, oh, you only gave me one rose. I wanted 12. Or, so it's kind of like, being like that ungrateful girlfriend. It's kind of like, well, I love that feel because you're like, oh my God. And I was able to pay. Like, no, it's not 10 months anymore. It's only 5 months left. Wow, look at that. And that's just a totally different energy, looking at it from a place of abundance versus a place of lack. And it's like you can consciously shift that today. If you're listening, you get to consciously start to shift the way you look at things today, and that will flip, like the way you receive money.
Hell yeah.
I'm all tingly.
Yeah, listening to all of this, it kind of reminds me of the adage, which people don't like, which I get, which is like being able to choose happiness. And it's like, just because you're choosing to, focus some energy on, money is always coming to me, or being excited to pay your bills, even if it means you don't have too much left in your account. It's not about not recognizing that things are hard and you have hardships going on. But it's like, okay, just for a little bit, I can give some energy to this other belief, this other idea that does not cancel anything else out. Doesn't cancel anything else out. It's just about that little energetic shift that can bring so much change and so much goodness to your life.
No, I love that. I'm about, that's why I say hugs, kisses, and all the feels. It's not just about only one set of feels, because no feeling is bad, right? It's really about recognizing what is coming up and not vilifying the quote unquote bad or the good, what is coming up. And so that's why I always love to say, okay, look forward to what you would love to feel like. And then you have that, let's say, safety with money, security with money, relief, but you're feeling shitty with money. You're like, fuck you, money, that sucks, right? Sorry, I can't curse. But
oh, you can.
Edit. You're feeling all of that, right? So I love to say you get to sit with that and feel it and feel like, oh, wow, this is what's going on. So, like, one of the big exercises in that conscious money is like, how am I really talking about money and how do I really feel? Let's get real. And so you get real with it, you accept it and say, wow, this is the way I'm really treating money, but not making yourself wrong about it. It's just something that's an observation and it's interesting. And then when you can tune into it and allow yourself to feel that feeling, feel the sadness, feel the anger, feel all of the thoughts and beliefs that are behind that, then you get to choose like, okay, well, you can do inner child work, you can do your shadow work, whatever you're going to do, but then now say, what am I choosing to move forward? So it's not about bypassing anything. It really is about choosing what you want to do going forward. And then the more you lock in the energy of relief or safety or whatever it is, you lock that energy in, as you're going along, what if the things that pop up are just popping up because they're old remedies of what you were formerly believing, because they're popping up because they're like, hey, I'm not in alignment with the direction that you're going in. So I'm saying, hey, recognize me so that you can love and appreciate me and then continue forward. Like, what if we didn't look at the bad feelings or things that happen that we didn't expect as bad things, but as indications, a guidance that, wow, this isn't in alignment with the direction that I'm going, and still continue forward in that direction.
This episode of the Power of Three podcast has been brought to you by BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp is an online platform with licensed therapists who are ready to help you wherever you might exist across the multiverse. Now, you must be 18 years or older to use this service. And BetterHelp is not a crisis line, but you can start communicating with someone within 24 hours. They have financial aid available to qualifying individuals. This is a secure, convenient, and affordable platform for your counseling services. Use the URL betterhelp.com/witchy to get your first week free.
This episode is brought to you by Let's Get Checked at-home health testing system. Let's Get Checked is all about personal health testing, making healthcare and health screening open and patient-led, empowering people to use technology in a simple but powerful way, and giving greater control to their personal health. They have a range of tests, including STD testing across all genders, fertility tests, celiac tests, general wellness, and more. Use the code WITCHY on letsgetchecked.com at checkout for 20% off your purchase.
Yep. And it's like, you have to look at that stuff, right? You have to look at that stuff that is uncomfortable, and it to really get to that feeling of like, okay, yeah, no, money actually is safety, and I do love it because, yeah, when you are in that state of lack and when you're struggling with money, you kind of hate it. You do kind of hate it, and then it's hard for money to come to you, and so it's like you do have to sit with that. It's like you get in a fight with your boyfriend. Sometimes you need to get in the fight to get it all out there, to understand, to communicate, and to move on. Like having disagreements in a relationship is important, and that is a part of manifestation as well. You have to have the disagreements with yourself, with the energy, with the universe, in order to figure it out, in order to be like, okay, now I understand everything. I understand where I'm coming from, and I recognize what I want instead, and I can use that energy moving forward.
Yes, and a big thing to remember is that you cannot shift something from the same energy it was created. And so if you're feeling stressed and angry or something about money, you can look at that with love. That's the easiest thing to do, is to love and appreciate whatever is coming up. And then that's when you can allow it to transmute and receive what you get to receive from that anger or the upset. But just looking at it from the same anger and upset is just going to continue to, fester and create more anger and upset, versus saying, oh, wow, I'm angry and I'm upset, and I'm going to love myself regardless, because that's okay. This is what's coming up, right? And so really tuning into, that's why I love to make things fun. So like we wrote the anger letter to money, like, money, you were bullshit. I hate you. You're the worst boyfriend ever. I asked you for $10,000 and you give me $10. Like really looking at how you speak about money. But once you get all of that out, you're actually laughing by the end of when you wrote the letter, because one, you released it all. But two, you're also just looking at it clearly and just being like, wow, I'm tripping. It's like, oh my God, wow, money. Okay, I get it. I get it. You've always been there for me, and it's me and my energy, and now I'm choosing to see it a little differently. And so just remember, you can't shift something from the same energy it was created.
Right. Like
Mhm.
you can't hate yourself into loving your body, you know?
Yeah.
That's a quote
Exactly.
I've seen a lot and it's so true. Like if all you're doing is coming from a place of hate. Because, I've had disordered eating. I think most women go through it, some pretty unhealthy stuff. And I remember getting down to a certain weight at one point, looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, well, fuck this. I'm just gonna start eating again because I still don't like what I see in the mirror. I don't see a difference. And I was like, oh, oof. I still had a lot more to go with my journey of loving my body, but that was a big revelation for me. Like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter if I'm coming from a place of hate, then that's all I'm gonna see, no matter what.
Oh, that's so good. Which is
Mhm.
why circle back to the beginning of the conversation when we talked about what is the end that you would love to feel with your body. And when you tune into that feeling, then you're going to start either things are going to come up for you to respond to that are in alignment with being the woman who absolutely loves her body. And you're going to start doing things and just naturally responding to things in a way as a woman who loves her body. And then you're going to be so in love with your body, you're going to be taking a shower one day and you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, where did my belly go? I was in love with that thing. And, you know, and it's
Yes,
going
I
to
do know.
love yourself, right? And that's the key to shifting and changing and allowing that quantum, shift, the quantum leap, the whatever it is really locking in the vibration of what you truly want, which wasn't the skinny body, it was to feel amazing.
Yes, yes. I had a revelation like that like 2 years ago. I just realized like, dude, anyone can live their body at any point in time. So why do I have like a deadline or, why do I have an end goal with it? I might as well just love myself right now. And then I lost a bunch of weight and then I kind of spiraled out because I was like, this isn't the same body I committed to loving too. It's okay. I figured it out, but there was definitely a period where I was like, oh my gosh, I have to
Oh,
learn to love this
Jasmine.
body now. I'm freaking out.
Oh my God, I absolutely love that. And it's so true, especially as women, you guys know, like, especially what
Yeah.
we see and what we hear, especially when it comes to health and body and all of that stuff, and image. I mean, like, oh, I'm going to wait till I get super fine to allow in my gorgeous, fine, sexy men. I'm like, no, you know what? I was like, universe, show me all the examples of fine, sexy, gorgeous, wealthy men with girls that may not have the body type that I think I need in order to have it. And then boom, 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 there's like example after example after example. Why? Because they love themselves as they are. And it's not about how I look,
Mhm.
it's about who I be. And so doing that just really tuned into, oh my God, I can just love myself the way I am, regardless of if I'm a little fluffy, regardless of if whatever, I need to love the fluffy and like know that I'm worthy. And then that's when I attract the amazing, sexy, fine, gorgeous man, with his British accent,
Not
Yes.
getting specific here.
Not specific because I'm a non-specific answer, but just saying.
Just
Saying, one
European.
of the many British accents. There's a lot of
Right?
different types. You're not getting specific.
I really like
Australian.
an
Australian.
Australian.
I
Yep.
would
Yeah.
say Australian.
New Zealand is sexy too. I
Uh,
mean, there's so
I
Australian.
many
mean, it's
options.
Scottish for me, gotta say.
Ugh. Ugh.
Scottish.
Stop. James
Outlander.
McAvoy
Yes.
Ooh.
is Bay. Oh my God. Oh, Christine, do you watch The Last Kingdom?
Hell yeah. Who said baby? Hello.
Yes.
Jasmine
Okay.
is what I
Good.
like to call him personally.
Hell yeah. Ooh. Episode 1 of season 4. That's all I have to say. Jesus. Scene one.
Truly prepare.
And if
Wistfully
you
looking.
haven't seen it, watch season 4, episode 1, scene 1.
Yeah, we're a big endorser of The Last Kingdom on this podcast. We're hoping one day we'll be recognized and maybe we could be like, maybe they could burn us at the stake in their show. I'm down.
That would be
I'm
amazing.
down. Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you
I'll,
wanna
I'll,
do.
be,
I,
I'll
I
wear one
would
of those
like
noses.
I'd
Okay.
like a sex scene before we die.
Please.
Just the three of us having a sex scene. And
Yeah,
then
that's fine.
That's fine too.
That works.
That would be so freaking amazing.
I only have one condition. I want to squeeze Finnan's arm just once before
Oh,
they kill
Yeah, I
me.
want to lick it.
Just once.
Finnan.
Oh my
Uhtred.
gosh.
I'm
The type of
down.
weird magic that we could do on the show to get us burns at the stake.
Right? That's
Like-
what I'm saying.
I want to be covered in fake blood.
Look, you speak it out, initiate it. You are the manifester. Drop in
Yep,
there,
yep.
DM. Hello,
Right.
we're the three
I'll,
witches.
I'll go write it down. Be right back, guys.
That's how we got you on the podcast. Was Ella?
It's true. It's true. I was just like, I want Christine, so I'm gonna go ask her. And they're like, cool, sounds good. And they were like, wait, what?
And
We're
I'm
doing
like,
it? I'm like, let's go.
You know, 'cause we were like, okay, that's kind of a big one. We'll see. We'll go throw it out there. You know, maybe one day we can get her on the podcast. And like the next day, she's like, okay, so I booked Christine, and we were like, oh my gosh.
What?
I love it. See, that way you can have the actor who plays Finn, you can have the actor who plays Uhtred, because they have their own podcast. Hello, like they have the Watch TV podcast. So come on, you guys. Like,
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Ella, write it down. I'm just going to
Okay.
start to, you know, fully believe that it's possible, right?
Yes.
Of
oh,
course,
I see it already.
eventually.
Oh my god. Like I already see it.
I can feel it.
I can feel it. I
Smell
can
it.
see it. Yes.
Yeah.
I bet that smell is pretty musky.
It's
Oh,
messy.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure
And it
is.
also smells like you know that metallic, like when something gets, when like a metal item gets kind of like greased up or oiled, that kind of smell too, you know, with all the swords and armor and shit. I'm very familiar with the smell of armor. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I know what armor smells like, so
I mean,
that's also part in there too.
can you
Oh, the
elaborate
weird
on
leather
why you know
costume
that
armor.
smell?
Because my husband is a fucking, he's
Oh,
just a, I don't know, he's like a modern day knight. He calls himself, his gamer tag on our games is Knight-Eye. So,
I love that. You
Yeah.
married tonight. You'll have the Last Kingdom
Yeah.
on your show. Do you guys
Yeah.
watch Vikings?
Watch what?
Vikings.
Yes.
Oh, yep.
So you need to have Bjorn on your show, and
Yeah.
you know, all
Just
of
call it
them.
all the sexy
Just
dudes.
have them all on there. I'll come.
Hello, Celtic men.
You'll have to come back.
Celtic men, sexy men. Yes, I'm down. Look, I'll be like, yay! I will come just cheer you on in the background. I put me on mute. I'm just gonna be like,
Just let me stare at him.
Twirl your hair.
That would get the Patreon subscribers. Hey, we're gonna talk to Finn and Uhtred today. They'd be like, oh, what? Hi.
yes, subscribe.
Sign up for that. Yes.
You know what? All of this is possible. And just sitting in the energy of like, oh my God, that would be so fun. Or, oh, what would that take? Or, oh, universe, surprise and delight me. That gets to happen. And things
Okay.
get to unfold.
But Joe Rogan is my ultimate goal here. Seriously, that's my ultimate end goal for this trio of podcast women is I want to be on there because he's like, so I heard about this witchcraft thing you guys are doing. I want you to come talk about it. And I'm going to be like, yes, hello.
Put it
I'll write that
down.
one down.
Is it
I
on
mean-
your list, Miss? You said you got the powerful list, Miss Specific.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I have written about Joe Rogan. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love tough guys. I love them.
Clearly.
Oh my gosh.
But men with brains too. Like I can't do it if it's not like
Brains and
the-
brawn.
Yeah, you gotta be a
Yes.
thinker. I think that's why I love Joe Rogan a lot because I'm like, even though sometimes he's very like, it's like, oh, you're such a dude, you know, he'll just say things where it's like, seriously, like, stop being such a freaking man, you know. But then a lot of times, like, he'll have someone on, he'll be like, oh, you know what, I can see that I'm, you know, kind of wrong here, and yada yada, and I'm just like,
No.
did you just admit you were wrong on the air? Oh my god, what?
Wet.
Ooh.
You know, I'm kind of excited for when that eventually does happen and when I've like fully stepped into my role in this podcast because you know, it takes some time for me to come out of my shell and like learning to accept my role in this world. But I really feel like he's one that I'm like I like him so much that I actually kind of don't like him. So I feel like the conversation would be like I don't know. It would just be a really good one because I wouldn't be sitting here like, yeah, I agree with you, Joe. Joe, you're so smart. Here you go. Let me pat you on the back. I'd be like, actually,
my job.
Joe, did you know that you're fucking wrong? Or Z. And I think it would just be a fantastic conversation with the trio we got going on.
Yeah. Well,
Well-
he's a fantastic host.
Well, and that's what I love about having a podcast hosted by 3 people is you're never gonna, even if you have 2 people agreeing on something, usually the third person pops up and is like, actually, I think, and so it adds like a nice flavor, you know.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a really good podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
The girl who told Joe Rogan he was wrong. I'm the one who absolutely loves him.
I would just be there because I would want to meet his friend Duncan Trussell. That's who I love. That's who I stand. That's the podcast I've been thinking about and just like imagining me in the chair next to him. That's the podcast I want. So I
There you
just
go. See, we've got the whole vision.
You're like,
I can go for Joe because I'll be like, is Duncan here? Can you just like send him my number?
Hi, I'm just gonna leave my card right here on the table. I'll be in town for like 5 days, but also I don't live that far, so just so you know.
and I'm always willing to get on the plane. Just send the ticket. I'm always willing to fly. This has been so fun.
This has been amazing. Can you tell all of our listeners where they can engage with you more, get more of Christine Michelle?
Oh, yes. You know what? The best place to engage with me is what the ladies mentioned, which is my free Facebook group, which is The Aligned Soul Collective. And you can find it on Facebook at The Aligned Soul Collective, or you can just go to thealignedsoulcollective.com and that'll take you straight to the Facebook group. And then I also have my podcast, which is The Aligned Soul Podcast. And it's all about, like, I bring some of these entertainment things. We talk a little bit about human design and, of course, manifesting, because that's who I am. And then lastly, also, if you would love to know more about like quantum manifesting, tuning into the energy, really unlocking and embodying your human design, I also have a membership and it's called The Society. And that is an amazing membership where you can learn who you are. You can really tune into your energetic cheat codes, but then also really tune into your quantum manifesting, being that next level now, which is super fun. We have new moon circles, full moon coaching calls, and like all the goodness, and great guest experts that come in and breath work and all of the good juicy things.
Ooh, amazing. Yeah, you guys definitely need to go get all up in everything Christine Michelle is doing.
Definitely.
So the first time I had ever heard about you, I was listening to the Spiritual Boss Babe podcast while I was out on a run. And I literally had to stop running. And I just sat there for like 10 minutes trying to figure out where I could find you because it didn't work on Instagram. And that's like my go-to place to search for people. So I spent 10 minutes out on my run being like, let me find this page. And then I was like, Ella, Jasmine, here you go. Listen to this. And now we're here talking to you. And I mean, that was like maybe 2 months ago. I don't know, maybe it was a little bit longer than that, but it doesn't feel like it.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. I love Stephanie and everything she does. She's got an amazing audience. And a lot of people have come from that podcast. So you mentioned Instagram. So if you want to find me on Instagram, it's The Aligned Soul. And that's where you can find me on all the socials. But yeah, I love Stephanie and I love what she does. That was a fun podcast.
It was.
Yay! But look at how you manifested that. All of you guys manifested me and boom, boom, boom. Like you mentioned it, boom. You have the manifester who went out and got it. And then you have the projector here to manage the energy and the generator to be the open aura. That's the perfect mix.
And you're the prize of manifestation.
Yay!
Thank you so much for being here.
Yes,
literally, I mean,
you.
just as soon as we hopped on the call, you were just a bright like energy. It was like, okay, dope. Like we always have a good time recording, but it was like, all right, this one's gonna be so easy.
Thank you. I love it. My intention when I go on any of the podcast interviews is like, this is going to be their best podcast ever. And like, people are going to be so excited about it and really like manifesting that for you and for me just to feel so amazing when I show up. Because I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I love what I do and I love what I talk about. And I could do this forever and I would just do it for free because that's what I had been doing my whole life. Like, blah, 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 blah. I'll watch The Bachelor and I'm like, yeah. Oh, do you realize how they're manifesting that? And my friends are like, just because that's just what I do. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, she triggers me. Oh, I know why I'm triggered because of that. And I'll talk about it just from like The Bachelor. So this is my complete and total joy.
And you bring the same energy to your Facebook group. So definitely everyone check that out.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry. Jess's cat is just like casually eating her hair right now. While she was talking,
Yeah.
you kept your composure so well, and I was just sitting here laughing at Pluto.
This is her all the time. This is her when I'm sleeping. She's just in my face, giving me kisses, nuzzling up.
She's like a toddler.
She
I
is.
know. I know.
Oh.
All right, you guys, go ahead and if you don't already follow us on Instagram, we are Power of Three Podcast on Instagram. If you want to email us about anything from the podcast, that's Power of Three Witch Podcast at gmail.com. Make sure to sign up for our Patreon. We just uploaded some more videos to our video grimoire, and I uploaded an astrology forecast for August. Those will be coming every month. So if you're interested in that, you got to check our Patreon.
Crown chakra video goes up today.
Nice.
Exciting.
Yummy.
All right, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks for listening. Bye.
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 Goodbye.